Okay. Still not sure if I'm live yet. I'm waiting for my phone. Okay, yeah, saying I'm live. Turn the volume down on my phone. What's good, everybody? I can't be too loud since I'm in my dorm and I'm in my room and stuff, so they got people around that are trying to sleep. Let me move closer to my mic so that way I could be loud enough. But what's good, everybody? Yeah, so if you guys are wondering why day 3 is going to be live streamed in a different way than how the other things are going, it's because I simply won't have enough time to be able to put 4 rounds in a presentation. So I'm thinking about that's how we'll move in the future with this, is actually make a video for the first round, because the first round's special, and then for the next rounds I'll have it where it'll be like you know, live stream like this, probably without the best presentation, but at least you guys will be able to hold on, got this thing in the way, I had to move that, but at least you guys will be able to see where you guys get drafted. I'm pretty sure that's all you guys really care about. So want to say what's up to everybody who is here, man. Appreciate you guys for coming through, and it is time to see where you guys go. So the way we're going to have to do it, though, we're going to have to go through each conference as far as where people will draft. So where I'm at right now is the AFC side of the RFL will get all of their players displayed from 4th round to the 7th, and then after that we'll go over to the NFC side and look at the rest of the players who are getting drafted. So the way I'm going to do it, so I don't spoil anything, as you can see, I'm on round 3 right now. Hugo Zachary, who got picked up by the Voyagers. I'm going to go in order just like I did, just like how the draft order is. Let me make sure I got my paper so I can know exactly what the order was. Yeah, so I got the order here, and that's how we're going to go. We're just going to go by each round, and then we're going to, you know, just click on each individual person as we go and just get a quick explanation, you know, of the players and stuff like that. Just a quick skim through everything. Well, once again, appreciate you guys coming through, and without further ado, it is time to get this draft going to show you guys who's on the board. So of course this is the 3rd round right now, which we saw already on the I almost already forgot, which we saw already on the last video. So this is what we're going to do. So the Voyagers, for their 4th round, with them being on the clock, they ended up picking Carter Delahart, and this is a submitted draft player. Not sure if he is in the stream right now, but here's a look at his stats right here. It looks pretty solid, man. Comes in at 78 at the linebacker, so he's pretty solid right there for the Voyagers. Voyagers been getting some good picks here, man. Got normal development, so it's nothing really too special, but look at that speed, 90 speed. His tackling is really solid. Block shedding, probably just needs to get a little bit better before. Linebacker is a rookie. That looks pretty dope. Hit power is pretty solid as well. His play recognition definitely needs to come up, and we're just going to stick with the 8 attributes and look at those first before we, you know, so we can move things on fast. But Carter Delahart is the selection here in the 4th round for the Voyagers. As you can see, 6'4", 243 pounds, young at 20, and a 3-4 pass rusher outside linebacker. So he should be a good deal right there for the Voyagers. So on to the next pick. Okay, Shamrocks are on the NFC. We got the Bulldogs. So now it's the Bulldogs' 4th round pick, and who they picked for the 4th round is a right tackle, which I'm just going to skip by the guys who are generic, but I will show the overalls. So the Bulldogs end up picking up a right tackle, Jose Coleman, and he ends up being a 70 overall. So not too bad of a pick right there. Pretty much that's okay, but it's a pretty solid idea to go at the line. They needed some protection. So let's move on to the next pick. Next is the Cougars. So with their 4th round pick, they end up picking Markel Wilcox, who is a submitted draft player, I believe. Let me see on my list. Yeah, I believe he is. Yeah, Markel Wilcox is a submitted draft player. So congratulations to whoever submitted Markel Wilcox. He is now off the board. You are now going to the Chicago Cougars, 4th round draft pick. And here's a look at him: 21, 6'1", 194 pounds, really solid size, out of Oregon. Very nice speed, but what's really killing him, man, you could have probably been an 80 overall cornerback if you didn't kill yourself with the acceleration rating. I mean, look at the acceleration, 76. So that's going to be a problem. So that pretty much nullifies that speed. So he really killed himself. That had to have come from the application. So you really hurt yourself there. You possibly could have been in the 80s had you had that acceleration somewhere in the 90s. But yeah, still really good, solid pick here. Looks like he would be pretty good at corner. His man coverage needs to get better, of course. Zone coverage too. His play recognition is pretty good for a corner too, coming in. Okay agility and his press. So he's a pretty good, solid cornerback here for the Cougars. Questionable about the Cougars though, man. The Cougars were making some crazy picks. Alex, I don't know if you're in the stream or not, but those first 2 picks, picking up 2 back-to-back quarterbacks when you didn't need them, that was just, I didn't know what to say about that. I did not agree with those picks. And I did talk to you while you were making the picks, like, are you sure you want to make these picks? But, at least you traded Zach Rosen away. For guys who don't know, you probably don't care, you just want to see your guy getting drafted. But Zach Rosen did get traded by the Cougars, and he is now over with the Voyagers, who gave up their linebacker. It was a backup linebacker, Ross, I believe it was Golston, and he was a 83 overall. So they ended up getting a win off of that. So that's a pretty good pickup right there. Next, we're going to move on to the Armadillos, and their 4th round draft pick is James Bishop, which is nobody. That is a submitted draft player. So here he is coming in. Bad confidence. He got 40 confidence, so that's why he got these negatives. But he's pretty much a 74, so you should be. So the Armadillos, watch out for him. They got a nice, pretty good, solid corner here at 74 overall. I say, okay, now moving on to the next pick. Monarchs are on the NFC. Okay, the Black Knights. So the Black Knights are on the board, and with their 4th round pick, they end up picking David Drayton, another player that isn't a submitted draft player. So just going to look at the overall here, 71 overall pick, draft pick right there. So not too bad right there. They needed some other receivers to kind of, I guess, fill in. He should be a nice addition. And so we're going to move on to the next pick. Okay, let's see what we got. We got Steamers, NFC. Okay. We got the Riverhogs. So the Riverhogs, with their 4th pick, another generic player, defensive tackle. Not a good pick for the Riverhogs, though. They end up getting a 69 overall defensive tackle, which he's going to really have to develop if he wants to see the field, get some playing time. So not the best pick right here. And I'm sorry if you guys are, if I'm not communicating with all you guys' comments or with your comments really at all like that so far in here. I want to say thank you for coming through for the stream, but I cannot communicate with, or respond to too many of the comments because once this becomes a video, guys who aren't able to make the live stream will just be able to see and just get the details just like that. So that's why I'm not responding to the comments like I'd like to. Plus, on top of that, I do want to make this rather quick. So there goes the pick for the Riverhogs. And then moving on to the next pick, Pioneers are next on the board in the 4th round. And with their 4th round draft pick, they end up picking up a submitted draft player. So B.J. Hamlin, the tight end. I think he's probably in the live stream. I don't know if you're in here. But your tight end has been selected. And you are now a Salt Lake City Pioneer. 6'6", 240 pounds, really good size. 22 years old, rookie out of Maryland, and looking at his stats, pretty solid, man. He's got really good speed for a tight end. Acceleration is pretty good as well. His catching's solid. Blocking's good. His awareness, of course, got to get some improvement, and his route running does as well. But for a tight end, route running doesn't have to be all that great, but still pretty good. A pretty good pick right here. So B.J. Hamlin, I do feel that he will be able to touch the field. So Pioneers definitely make themselves a good, solid 4th round pick here. And so moving on to the next pick is the Oklahoma City Bison. So let's see who the Bisons end up picking up. Who are they going to get off the board? Nobody. That's a submitted draft player. It ends up being a generic player, Sherman Cromartie Smith. And I want to make sure I go through each pick for each round because I want guys to even know the rookies that are coming in, even though they aren't submitted draft players, because, you know, when you get to see them make plays and stuff, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember him. He was just drafted. But not too bad of a pick here. Cromartie Smith ends up being a 71 overall, so a pretty decent pick right there for the Bisons. They definitely need some help on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary. And the next pick is the Brooklyn Bulls. So the Brooklyn Bulls, my man's Coach Kamba ends up picking up a defensive tackle, and that's Kevin I think it's Correa. I think it's one of those. I know I said it right with one of those. But Kevin Correa out of Alabama ends up coming in, but the overall, 68 overall. So he kind of took a bad pick here. But, of course, this is the 4th round, so you're not going to get too many gems. As long as they are near the 70s, I feel this is a pretty good, solid pick then. But as far as him being able to touch the field, probably not. Going to have to develop him. But we'll just have to see what the future holds for Kevin Correa there in Brooklyn. Okay, so now moving on to the next pick, another AFC team. We got the Sentinels. So the Orlando Sentinels are on the clock, and with their 4th round pick, they end up picking another generic player. So a cornerback right there, 73 overall, really good, solid pick right there for them. And I'm going to try to move on with the generic player, so I'm going to just keep moving until I get to a created player. So let's see, we got the Tigers, Lancers, Marshals, Gunners, Aviators. So the Aviators are in the AFC. And with their 4th round pick, they pick up Kingston Kinney. So this is a submitted draft player. And if you're wondering how I'm knowing the submitted draft players by heart, man, I had to, with the edits and everything, I had to, see these names over and over again so I know, like, who's a submitted draft player and who's not. But Kingston Kinney out of Alabama State, your player has been selected. And he's just a weird build, man. This guy's 6'5", 206 pounds. So the weight is kind of definitely off. It's weird, but look at the overall that he comes in with, man. 4th round pick, and he is an 84 overall running back. That's insane. That's amazing. So he is definitely a steal out of the draft that nobody, I'm pretty sure, knew about. Just look at the stats. 97 speed, 99 acceleration. The carrying is solid. Ball carrying vision solid for a rookie coming in. He can run you over, stiff arm you. But as far as his elusiveness, as far as juking and spinning, it doesn't look like it's there. But, man, this is a really good, solid pick here for the Aviators. And they might have themselves a really solid premier backup back for Kadron Lusk, who's already tearing it up there in Columbus. But, of course, the development is on normal, but still really good, solid pick coming in. So that's cool. Didn't think he would be. Actually, they got him at 74 overall, but looking at here, it says his overall is a 79. So I don't know which one is going to be, but either way, he's still a good pick. We're just going to go off the card. How about that? So the Aviators pick up Kingston Kinney, and next on the list is my Dreadnoughts. So let's see who the Dreadnoughts pick in the 4th round. Hopefully we get somebody good, and we pick up a right guard, Nate Clement. And he looks like he's pretty solid. 74 overall as an offensive lineman. So a nice solid pick there. We definitely need some offensive linemen to go ahead and help out with the pass game and the running game, period. Philly, we look like we're going to be switching things around with the quarterbacks. So we might actually, I don't know who's going to be the quarterback at the end of the day. Philly does have his job for now. But the rookies we just picked up are definitely breathing on his neck. So if he messes up, and who knows, man, he may not be able to play in San Antonio anymore. So definitely got to make sure we build on that line. So the Dreadnoughts pick is in, and that's what they get with the 4th round. Let's move on. Diablos, NFC, Condors, NFC, Celtic Tigers. So the Celtic Tigers are now on the clock, and on their 4th round pick, they go with Al Smalls. This is a submitted draft player. So Al Smalls, defensive end out of Alabama. And here's a look at his rating. Oh, he took a hit. So he took a little bit of a hit right here. 67 overall. So he ended up getting just the wrong guy for him to be substituted with. and it kills him with his overall attribute rating. So I mean, he's got 90 tackling. No, 90 strength, though. That's really solid. The tackling, let me see the tackle. Okay, the tackling definitely does need to boost up at 72. And his finesse move and power moves. You got to get his moves up and his play recognition. But the tackling and block shedding, that needs to definitely improve. But, man, he's got the size. He just got to build on him, man. This guy's 6'10", 270 pounds. So he'll get stronger. And I'm pretty sure that the Celtic Tigers are going to make do with this pick. And so with the Celtic Tigers being picked, it's now time to move on to the next pick. And we have the RFL champs, the Red Dragons. And let's see what they said. Like, they've been making some good picks so far in the draft. And here they go with Ryan Branker. Ryan Branker submitted a draft player a season ago who's actually the same name, Ryan Branker. What is this so far the starting quarterback for the Marshals, but after they picked up I forgot who it was that they drafted, but he ended up actually being like probably a higher overall than him, so he might actually get replaced. But Ryan Branker does get picked up by the champs here, the Red Dragons, but the overall, not too good. But this is pretty okay. He can build his way up. As far as where people stand in the depth chart, I'm not going to go over that. Just want to make sure everything's fast, but I will do that in a future idea for a podcast. So that's what I'm thinking on doing, is for the podcast, I'll be able to show guys where they are currently on the depth chart. So Brian Branker comes in. He's got good speed, but what really killed him, he could have at least been a 70-something if he didn't nerf himself on the acceleration. So that was definitely his doing by putting his acceleration at an 80 with a 90 speed. Now, I'm going to let you guys know for future references, if you submit a draft player in the RFL, please make sure that the speed and acceleration are about the same, man. Like, because if they're not, then it really kills your attribute rating, and it's going to make your guy way too slow at the start trying to pick up on speed. So that's where a lot of guys really killed themselves overall wise in the draft with the application. But nice solid pick here. I would have to still say for the Red Dragons, they already got themselves a beast running back with CJ Bobo, but maybe they can develop Ryan Branker and make something happen there with their backup, just in case if any injuries or something was to go down with Bobo. And so moving on to the next pick, we got the Explorers, Snowhawks. I'm saying the Shamrocks for some reason. And now the last two picks of the AFC are the Huskies and the Conquistadors. So the Huskies, with their 4th round pick, they pick up a offensive tackle, Sanchez Dozable. I believe that's how you say his name. But Sanchez Dozable ends up being a 70 overall, so not bad for a rookie. They can definitely build on him. If they have a lineman better, they can just start that guy and just continue to develop Dozable and make him a nice starting running back in the future. So nice solid pick there, I still have to say, for the Huskies. And with the final pick of the 4th round in the AFC, we have the Conquistadors, and they pick up free safety Tyrone Gibbs. He is not a submitted draft player, but his overall is a 70. So nothing too impressive, but still pretty good, solid pick. Let's remember, this is the 4th round. So if you get anybody, honestly, in the 70s in the 4th round, that's actually a good pick. So a solid pick here for Mexico City. And so with that, let's go back around. It's time to move on to the next round for the AFC. So the Voyagers are back on the clock, and it is now the 5th round of the draft. I hope you guys are still enjoying, how things are going. And you know what? For each round, I'm just go ahead and take a pause and. I don't want to take a pause because that'll just take too long. I was about to say read you guys' comments and stuff, but I just can't. I got to make sure I move things on, in a timely manner. But, so without further ado, let's get to the 5th round pick for the Voyagers. So in the 5th round of the RFL draft, the Houston Voyagers selects Jonathan Brewer. So this is not a submitted draft player. It's an offensive tackle. And let's see what he turns out to be, a 70 overall. As you can see from his attributes, not too bad. Definitely somebody it can develop with. So pretty okay pick here. Like I said, anybody in the 70s, in the 4th round, is pretty good. So good pick there. And I don't know, I think this is their overall that they're actually going to be on the team that they are on. So he may be a 71, but let's just not pay attention to that. We're just going to look at the player card, and then, like I said, for the podcast, I'll be sure to let guys know their overalls and where they stand officially. So that was the Voyagers. Now back to the Bulldogs. Their 5th round pick ends up being William Wallace. So this was a submitted draft player. So congratulations on William Wallace, or I don't know if that's your name, the one who created him, but your quarterback from South Alabama has been picked. Looking at the overall, probably not going to be able to see the field for some time. He's just got to develop. What we can see, though, his awareness is really good off the gate coming in. So that means I have an 80 rule. So what happens is, if with your attribute points, you must get your awareness up to an 80 before you can move your use your XP points anywhere else. And since his awareness is already at 80, that means he can already develop in the weak spots of where he is in the attribute wise. And we can already see his weaknesses just seems to be accuracy, period. His short accuracy is in the 70s, so that's really not good. And the medium and deep accuracy is in the 60s, so that's he's having some he's going to have some trouble there as far as accuracy in those areas. His throw power is not even that solid at an 86. You want your quarterback to be at least like close to 90 with an 89 or 88 probably. But you want your quarterback to have some good 90 throw power strength, but it doesn't look like he's got that arm that teams want out of their quarterback. But other than that, he's also mobile. Look at that speed, 84. So congratulations, William Wallace. You have been selected, and you are now a London Bulldog. And so with that pick, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is the Cougars again. So on the 5th round, the Chicago Cougars selects Michael Afriyie. So this is another submitted draft player. So congratulations to Michael Afriyie. You have been selected by the Cougars, and man, what a pick he is. He's a 78, it says here, but look at this. It looks like he's going to be an 81 for the Cougars, so he must really fit that offense or something. But looking at him, man, 6'1", 240, rookie out of Syracuse. Speed, I would have to say, is pretty okay. That's pretty okay for a 6'1", 240 running back. He just doesn't have any acceleration. Well, his acceleration got to be somewhere. 93 acceleration. So, yeah, he's actually nobody to sleep on when it comes to running the ball. So this is a solid pick for the Cougars. So they're making up for those early picks that they were making, picking up quarterbacks that they didn't need, and they end up getting themselves a really good running back out of Michael Afriyie out of Syracuse. So congratulations to you. You have been selected, and you are now a Chicago Cougar. And now it's time to move on to the next pick, Armadillos. And the Armadillos pick up Mason Fryman, not a submitted draft player, and he ends up being a 68 overall. So nothing too special there. Not too good of a pick there for the Armadillos. Next, we have the Black Knights again. So with the 5th round, the Black Knights, another non-submitted draft player, Percy Ayers, 63. So they took a hit here. Did not pick up the right guy, I guess. But he got some good speed and acceleration, so they could probably develop this guy. Excuse me. For some reason, I'm burping while I'm talking. I don't know if that ever happened to you guys before, but that happens to me a lot for some reason. I don't know why. But next is the Riverhogs. So with their 5th overall draft pick, the Riverhogs selects Johnny McMullen, another generic player, ends up being a 69. So Johnny McMullen, welcome to the Riverhogs. Next pick, so we're going to keep moving on. If it's not a submitted draft player, we have the Pioneers once again. They just picked up B.J. Hamlin, and then they go with the offensive guard here. And that guard, not a good one. He gets 66 coming in, so may have just wasted a pick there. So Pioneers off the board. The Bisons with their 5th pick in the draft, they go with Tavon Walton, which is not a submitted draft player. 67 overall here it says, but a 69 for the team. See who else. Okay, the Brooklyn Bulls are now on the clock, and with their 5th round draft pick, another undrafted draft player. So this might be a lot of unsubmitted draft players. Excuse me, not here in a row so far in these rounds, because most of the players have been picked up. But a pretty decent corner in the 4th round. The Bulls pick up a 71 overall corner with Antoine Drons. Okay, so the Bulls. Let's see who they get next is the Sentinels. So the Orlando Sentinels, who just hired their new coach, Tor Armstrong, ends up picking up a fullback. So a weird draft pick there. They pick up Aaron Angerer. I believe that's how you say it. He's a 78 though here, superstar development. So they might got themselves a good goal line fullback here. So nice pick. So solid pick right there for the Sentinels. And let's see who's going on next. We got the Tigers. Next are the Aviators again. So the Aviators with their 5th pick, and there goes a submitted draft player, John Perry out of Alabama. You have been selected, and you are now a Columbus Aviator. So congratulations to you. Look at the size here, 6'8", 249 pounds. I mean, this guy got the size. Look at the short accuracy. This picture perfect short accuracy, can't ask for any better. But his other accuracies as far as throwing deep and his mid accuracy is definitely something he's going to have to work on. And like I said, he's got to get his awareness up to an 80 first before he can even think about working on those. So it's going to be some time before he can really develop. But he's pretty solid. He should be a good, solid backup quarterback until he can fully develop. Probably will take him a couple seasons, but he might be the backup there in Columbus. So he very well actually might end up being, able to see the field a good amount of time, say if something was happening to Russell Rennes. But look at the throw power too, 98. So he's got a gun on him. 98 throw power, 91 throwing on. So he's got some really good attributes here. The speed, not too good. So he's definitely a pocket quarterback, as you can see here, pocket passer. And with that height and weight, he better not be running, especially with that speed. But congratulations to you, John Perry. You are now a Aviator, and it's time to move on to the next pick. Let's see who that is. It's the Dreadnoughts. So my Dreadnoughts back on again. And with our 5th pick, we end up picking up Quadir Porter. So we get a cornerback, and he's a 70 overall. Okay, that's pretty good for a 5th round draft pick. So I'm definitely content with this pick here. Got really nice speed on him. We can develop this guy. So nice solid pick there in the 5th round. Let's see who we get here. Next draft pick will be Celtic Tigers. So Celtic Tigers once again back on for the 5th round, and they pick up Toria Colmer, who is a defensive tackle. Another bust here as far as they look like they really try to help out their defensive tackle interior, but the last 2 picks haven't been too good for them. There's another low 60 overalls. Colmer is a 62, so not too good of a pick there. Doesn't seem like they'll be able to utilize him. So the Celtic Tigers now give it off in the 5th round to the Red Dragons. So let's see what the Red Dragons, the champs, will pick in the 5th round. They pick up Trey Cook. So there goes a submitted draft player. Trey Cook is out of Penn State, is now a Red Dragon as well. And just like Ryan Brinker, they had the same overall. So these guys, as rookies, look like they'll be competing to try to move up in the depth chart. But Trey Cook actually, just like Brinker, could have been a higher 70-something overall player. But he nerfed himself again with the acceleration. Look at that. You can't have 90 speed and 70 acceleration. So he's not going to be fast. Despite having the 90 speed, the 70 acceleration, the only way that he's going to really be able to break off is if the O-line blocks perfectly and he's just got a beeline straight to the end zone. That's the only way really he'll be able to show the burners. But like I said, really a lot of guys hurt themselves in their application with not matching up at least close their speed and acceleration. But his carrying's really solid. Ball carrier vision for a rookie is really solid, and doesn't look like he got too much of anything to catch anybody with but a spin move. So pretty solid right here. And congratulations to Trey Cook, the speed back out of Penn State. 6'2", 199 pounds, really good size, as you are now a San Diego Red Dragon. And so next pick, we got the last two for the 5th round, and that is the Huskies. And with their 5th round draft pick, the Huskies scoop up another offensive lineman, Tyrone, I believe that is Fellaini might have been, but look at this 5th round draft pick. They end up picking up a 73 overall offensive guard here. So a really good, solid pick, and the Huskies been drafting really good throughout this draft, man. So really good, solid pick here. Look at the strength, really good. The run blocking's good, impact blocking's good. Got to work on the pass blocking a little bit, but man, he's a rookie. So if they got, I'm pretty sure they do got other offensive linemen over him so far, so he shouldn't take too much time to develop and become a future starter for the Huskies. So congratulations for Coach Chiz, man, on having a good draft so far, and now here you are adding a 73 overall offensive lineman from the 5th round. So, I mean, this guy just seems to have the eye so far for the draft and picking up gems. I think he said that too in the Discord. But after that, the last pick of the 5th round for the AFC is the Conquistadors. And with the 5th round pick, they pick up Aiden Ziegler. So this is another submitted draft player. Congratulations to you. Your player has been selected. So here's a look at Aiden Ziegler, 20 years old. A lot of young guys in this draft. But looking at him as a running back, he's 6'4", but 185 pounds. So that's definitely a downside to him. And just like everybody else kills himself with the acceleration, how do you give yourself 99 speed and you give yourself a 70 acceleration? So that 99 speed really doesn't mean anything. So he's probably like an 82 or 80 something speed, to be honest, when you combine these. So not too impressive, and that's why his overall is really nerfed, as you can see here. He's got good vision, though, as you can see. And from his low body weight, that's probably why he just doesn't have the ability to break tackles or probably be as elusive. His juke move's not even that solid. If you're going to be this small, you want to at least have a decent juke move, but he doesn't have that. But he can spin, so who knows? He probably can break some tackles, but not a good overall pick here, because Ziegler, he's going to have to take. It's going to have to take a lot of development for him to be able to see the field there in Mexico City. But congratulations, you have been selected by the Conquistadors, and hopefully you'll be able to touch the field at some point. If not, as always, next season to create another player, and you know how it goes. But once again, congratulations. So the Conquistadors end up getting their pick, and we now move on to the 6th round, where the Voyagers get right back on the clock. I wish all the teams were just in one franchise, man, because let's not forget that once we get to the 7th round of this, we got to go to the NFC side. So I want to try to hurry things up as fast as I can. So with the 6th round, in the 6th round of the RFL draft, the Houston Voyagers pick up an offensive lineman, Craig. I'm not really sure how to say this guy's name. I think it's Milhauser, I think. I'm going to keep it with that. So ends up being a 62 overall offensive guard. So not a good pick there for the Voyagers. But like I said, anybody can get good as long as they develop them. Awareness is really what killed him. You can't have 50 awareness as an offensive lineman. Not too good. But so there goes the 6th round pick for the Voyagers. Next on the clock, we have the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs pick with their 6th round pick, Dre Lawson. So here goes a submitted draft player. Congratulations to you, Dre Lawson, as you are now a London Bulldog. And here's a look at the overalls. And you can kind of get a glimpse if guys who watch season 3 of the RFL, season 2, of the RFL, to see how the Bulldogs quarterback Timmy Merritt, who led them to the first ever relocation championship game, just fell off, had an absolute sophomore slump, and now it looks like they're just trying to get some quarterbacks to probably take over if he has that type of dip again next season. Looking at him, Dre Lawson coming in, look at the awareness. He comes in with an 89 awareness. That's just absolutely amazing. But he really is going to have to focus his XP on getting his, his accuracy up. And so with that normal development, could take some time. But he definitely will have the opportunity to be able to see the field. I think he could be a star definitely in the future for the Bulldogs. Let's say if Timmy Merritt or something happens to him, all he's got to do is just boost up his accuracy some more, and he should be fine. Nice speed too. He's a mobile quarterback, so he's going to be exciting to watch. Hopefully we get to see him play in the preseason. There goes a pick for the Bulldogs. And with the next pick, we have the Chicago Cougars, their 6th round draft pick, and they pick up Kentavious Henderson. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Since I've already seen the picks and had the picks made and things, I did play with you guys players as far as me like just going in practice mode with the teams, and this was one of the guys that I had fun with playing with. Kentavious Henderson was explosive, and he can make some plays, man. Look at this. He may be a 72 overall. Look, this is a steal. So the Cougars are really up in their game now in the draft. They end up picking up Kentavious Henderson in the 6th round at a 72 overall. And just look at these attributes. 94 speed. He's got 90 acceleration. The route running is just ridiculous coming in as a rookie with 91. His catching is at 90. This is crazy. You would think that with these good attribute ratings, he would be higher than a 72, but he isn't. So that's why I'm glad that I definitely did those 3 attribute rating rules, and that's made sure that nobody comes into the league OP unless somehow got the right guy to be submitted for to substitute for. So that rarely is going to happen. So, but still, look at the catching traffic even at 90. This guy's ridiculous. The jumping at 93. He is the real deal. The awareness, I'll tell you what, he gets that awareness up. He can see 80 quick. And let's not forget, he's got to get his awareness up to 80 anyway if he wants to be able to, add on to any other attribute anywhere else. So he's definitely got a chance, man, to be a big time. What you could see his weak point is this release at 61. So not too good there. So he on the line, if guys jam him up, he might not be that solid. But the catching in traffic and route running and stuff probably nullifies all that, to be honest. And his agility, it's not bad. It's not good, but it ain't bad. And it's pretty good. It's okay for a wide receiver at 80. But really solid pick, and congratulations, Kentavious Henderson. You are now a Chicago Cougar. I can't wait to see what he does during the regular season. I had so much fun playing with him in practice, and I ain't going to lie to you. So next pick is the Austin Armadillos. And the Austin Armadillos pick up an offensive lineman, Norman Sinclair. He ends up being a 73 overall. So a really good, decent pick right there for the Armadillos. Next on the list, we end up having, Monarchs, Barons, Black Knights back on the board. And they pick up outside linebacker Lane Irwin. So here in the 6th round, pretty decent. Almost ends up being in the 70s in the 6th round draft pick. So he's 68 overall. Is Lane Irwin. And it seems like a guy that can develop and make into a pretty good guy in the future. So after the Black Knights, they have, keep losing track on my paper that I'm looking at. Riverhawks. So the Riverhawks next on the board, and with their 6th round draft pick, the Riverhawks selects free safety Samuel Parham. So free safety in the 6th round ends up being a 70 overall. So really good, solid pick here actually for the 6th round. Of course, he's needs a lot of development in some areas, but really good, solid pick here. I think Parham could be a potential starter soon for the Riverhawks. I don't think their safety other than Matt Hoover is all that good. So there goes a good pick right there for the Riverhawks. And let's see who else we have coming in here on the clock. And it's the Pioneers. So the Pioneers are on the board, and with the 6th round pick, they select Carol Powell. So Carol Powell ends up being the selection here, not a submitted draft player, but he's 67 overall, so not too good of a linebacker pick here. But in the 6th round, I guess that's not bad. So okay pick right there for the Pioneers. So the Bisons get on the board next, and with their 6th round draft pick, they select Wade Benoit, and he is a guard, not a submitted draft player, 65, so needs some development. And now it's time for the Bulls, as they're on the clock, and with their 6th round draft pick, they select Ben Hartman. So here goes a submitted draft player. Congratulations to Ben Hartman out of Georgia. You are now a Brooklyn Bull. And here's a look at him coming in. Really good speed for a tight end, man. His awareness definitely's got to pick up, though. Route running, like I said, for tight ends aren't that important, but that's something he can definitely build on. But that awareness, of course, got to reach a certain point before we can work on other things. His run blocking is pretty solid, man, for a tight end coming in. Actually, he's really solid for a 6th round draft pick. So here goes another little steal here for the Brooklyn Bulls in the 6th round, coming up with a 74 overall tight end in Ben Hartman. So really good, solid pick here, and got solid catching, spectacular catches he can make. He's good at catching in traffic. His accelerations is even better than his speed. So this is a tight end that nobody should sleep on, and a really good, solid steal pick here for the Brooklyn Bulls. Congratulations to Ben Hartman, as you have been selected, and you are now a Brooklyn Bull. Okay, so moving on to the next pick, we got the Sentinels on the clock, and at their 6th round draft pick, they select a center, Demetrius Stanley. Okay, so in the 6th round, he ends up being a 71 on the card, it says here, but he might just not fit that offense, as you can see from the overall grade, 69. So, might not be that solid of a pick as we were expecting. So the Sentinels now selected. Let's see who else we got. Tigers, Lancers, Marshals, Gunners, Aviators. So the Aviators are now on the board, and with their 6th round draft pick, they select Gordon Hardman, an outside linebacker out of Buffalo. And I do not believe this was a submitted draft player, but a solid pick in the 6th round, a 73 overall offensive lineman. He's got really good solid, I said offensive lineman, outside linebacker. He's got really good speed. Okay, so his speed's pretty good. No, I said really good. Maybe that's not really good, but that's pretty okay for an offensive line. No, for an outside linebacker. He's got pretty okay tackling. That needs to get up, though. Nice hit power. Good power moves. Play recognition definitely needs to come up, but pretty good solid pick here for the Aviators. And let's see who's next on the clock. The Aviators. And now it's my Dreadnoughts. So let's see who we get in the 6th round. And in the 6th round, the Dreadnoughts selects a defensive end, Riley Draft. And man, okay, this is a steal. Ends up being a 75 overall. Not a submitted draft player here, but Riley Draft, 75 overall. I don't know what it is with the defensive draft players that the Dreadnoughts get, but we get some pretty good, solid defensive players out of the draft. I remember picking up Nolan Angelo, our starting middle linebacker now. So a really good, solid pick here by the Dreadnoughts, as we get Riley Draft, 75 overall, coming in as a rookie, as a defensive end. He's not going to see the field most likely, but hey, he's a good solid pick for the 6th round. Okay, so next on the board are the Celtic Tigers, and they've had a couple busts so far with the defensive tackles, and with their next pick, they go team, but still, either way, really good side. Look at the development, quick development. So this Tennessee ends up being a really good comeback draft pick for the Celtics. We got on next. So Celtic Tigers, Thunderbird. Okay, Red Dragons. So now it's time for the Red Dragons. And oh man, it looks like my internet's about to crash. But like I said, I'm going to keep going live every time it crashes. So it might be to get this done today. I want to make sure that I start the season on time. So let me know if things start going wrong with the internet. But here we are, Red Dragons with their 6th round draft pick. They end up picking Reggie Groyce, free safety out of Ole Miss. Ends up being a solid 6th round draft pick, as he is a 71 on the card, but a 72 for the Red Dragons. You already know they're really solid with their defense, and just looking at him, he's got the potential to be a, something there in the future for the Red Dragons. They always get some good defensive players. And with the Red Dragons, 2 more picks. Time to go on to the Huskies, and the Huskies select Noah Hess. So congratulations to Noah Hess. Your player has now been drafted, and you are a Toronto Husky. And looking at him coming in, never mind the negatives here. It says he's a 68 and minus, but those negatives doesn't matter, to be honest. As when the season starts, his confidence will be up to 50. So looking at him, look at the speed. This is a speedster here, man. 5'11", really on the small, well, not the small end. Well, he's on the small end as far as weight, because he's at 175 pounds. But man, Noah Hess, the speed is just crazy, ridiculous. 97 speed, 96 acceleration. Do not let this guy get in open space. That's all I can say. If he ever gets an opportunity to touch the ball, hopefully we'll be able to see him during the preseason. But of course, I can't do anything with the rosters during the preseason. It all depends on the game, who they pick in, because I'm not going to be able to substitute for both teams, because the only way, it just doesn't work that way. You guys who know about Madden, but looking at his carrying, he's pretty okay. He needs to get that up, though. To be honest, 70s in the carrying spot for a running back really isn't that good. His ball carrier vision really is 79 since he got the -1, but actually might be pretty decent running the rock. Of course, he's not going to be able to plow through defenders, but his juke moves aren't that good either. So he's just a speed guy. So I don't think he'll be able to really be flashy. He's just one of those guys going to get the ball and just take off. But he's got the speed to make something happen. So congratulations to you, Noah Hess, as you are now a Toronto Husky. So now on to the final pick of the 6th round for the AFC, and it is the Conquistadors. And with their pick, they select, I went on the Cougars, they select outside linebacker Ray Pilgrim, and he ends up being a 67 on the card, but a 68 for the team. But I guess this is a pretty okay pick for the 6th round. And with that, we move on to the 7th and final round for the AFC. And we start, of course, back with the Voyagers. And the Voyagers, for their last pick in the draft, they pick up Ross Harlow. So congratulations to Ross Harlow. You have been selected. This is a submitted draft player. And look at this. A 7th round pick ends up being an ultimate steal. 82 overall as a defensive end. So a solid final pick for the Voyagers. Hopefully this will be the season for them to finally make the playoffs for the first time. I mean, I've always felt they had a solid team, but for some reason they just haven't been able to win games. And it was the same exact case for them this year. So this past season really did hurt them. But look at this, man. He's got a pretty good he's got okay strength for defensive end coming in, but look at the tackling. Solid. Finesse moves probably not all that impressive, but look at the speed. He got 88 speed, 90 acceleration, but you want to know what it really explains all of this and probably why he's that fast. Look at the weight. I mean, this guy's 6'3". That's a good size for a defensive end, but this guy's going to have to pack. Not going to be that big, but yeah, this is a really solid final pick here for the Voyagers, and this could definitely be somebody to watch out for this season. I believe he probably will be starting. Yeah, so that's the final pick for the Voyagers in the draft. As I can't remember, I got a lot in my head, so I can't remember all of my coaches, my user coaches in the league so far. I think it's Donnell Brown. Yeah, congratulations. You had a pretty good, solid draft this season, Coach Brown. Can't wait to see how you turn the Voyagers around. Okay, so with their Voyagers' final pick, it's time to move on to the Bulldogs. And with their final pick in the draft, they select wide receiver Jason Cartwright. So this is not a submitted draft player. Ends up being a 67 overall. which is okay, pretty okay for a 7th round draft pick. Okay, moving on to the next pick, we got the Cougars, and with their final pick in the draft, they select Blair Hollis, so a right tackle out of Syracuse, and he ends up being a 70 overall tackle, offensive lineman, in the 7th round. So pretty good pick here. Cougars started out with craziness with picking up the quarterbacks and stuff, but they kind of made up for it, in my opinion. I think they made up for it a lot here. Blair Hollis ends up being a pretty good pick there in the 7th round, and could be a potential key player in the future for them, especially on that line. They need to improve that a little bit. You said, who is owner/coach of the Cougars? Oh yeah, Ed, you should definitely know who that is. That's actually Alex Dar is the head coach of the Chicago Cougars. So he's the one who drafted you, and yeah, congratulate that guy for picking you up, man. Ended up being a really good steal too, man. Yeah, that's the head coach of the Cougars. He probably explains why he did pick up the 2 quarterbacks, but let's not, keep talking about that. But with the next pick and the final pick for the Austin Armadillos, they'll go with C.J. Larson, wide receiver out of USF. And, well, this guy ends up looking like he's going to be the real deal. C.J. Larson, superstar development. This isn't a submitted draft player, but, man, 76 overall in the 7th round. And here he is, a superstar development. He's going to be probably somebody to watch out for in the future. Could get some playing time this season, but we already know Armadillos, they got themselves some pretty solid receivers already. So who knows? C.J. Larson got to watch out for there. So moving on to the next and final pick for the let's see who we got here. Armadillos, Monarchs. For the Black Knights, they select Richie Rivers. So we're getting some key players out of this 7th round here, guys over the 70s. So they get a 72 overall cornerback in the 7th and final round of the draft. So this is a big pick for the Black Knights, and they are definitely helping out their secondary, which struggled a little bit last season. So with the Black Knights final pick, it's time to move on to the next final pick of the AFC, as they pick it's the Riverhogs, and the Riverhogs selects Vic Cage. So there goes a submitted draft player. Congratulations to Vic Cage. You are now off the board, and you are now a Portland Riverhog. And this is a guy I also played with that I had fun with. But he's a 75 overall. This guy could have been even higher. Once again, another guy who nerfed himself due to his acceleration that he put down on the application. 98 speed, but the acceleration is 85. So really, he's probably like a 90 speed, 91 probably playing with him. But I mean, he's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a lot of fun playing with him while I was, in practice mode with the Riverhogs. Nice carrying, ball carrier vision is really pretty solid for a rookie coming in. That'll definitely improve. Juke move is solid. Spins, he's got okay spin, so he can catch some guys with the elusiveness. And of course, not the power back. He's 5'10", 167 pounds. So this guy, he's really on the light end. But from what we see here, he's a really good solid pack, and really good solid player. And from me playing with him, I can tell you already that this guy, he is the real deal. So we'll see what the Riverhogs will do with him. Okay, so next on the list, the Riverhogs are done with their draft, and it's time for the Pioneers. And with their final pick, they select James Skaggs. So congratulations to head coach James Skaggs of the Aviators, as he ends up getting picked up for the Pioneers. Of course, that would be weird for him to be a coach and a player at the same time, but this is virtual reality. But probably I'm not going to make it where guys can submit more than one of the same name. Might just got to come up with different names and stuff like that, like Ryan Branker did it. So I'm gonna have to talk to him probably about that. But Yeah, James Skaggs ends up getting picked here in the 7th and final round by the Pioneers, and he ends up being a steal. 72 overall. The speed definitely not really there, but the acceleration matches up with it, so he should be pretty good for a tight end. His catching is solid, run blocking is solid. His awareness, 49. That's poop. Now he's really going to have to get that awareness up before he can develop. So it may take him some time to really get on the field. But I think he may be able to see some playing time in his rookie season. I'm not even going to lie. Route running is on 80, so that's actually pretty solid. So he can get open. So watch out for James Skaggs, as he might be able to make some plays this upcoming season. And so with the Pioneers' final pick, we move on to the Bisons. And the Bisons selects Javonte McPherson, defensive tackle out of UCF. Got these girls outside being loud as hell. I ain't even going to stop my broadcast with this. But let me not waste my time. They funny as shit. But they end up picking up Javonte McPherson, 68 overall, out of UCF. So pretty good, solid pick there in the 7th round for the Bisons. So let's see what else we got. We get the Bulls, their final pick, and they select a submitted draft player. Congratulations to Brendan Roberts, as he is now off the board. And I mean, I'm probably not going to like the overall, but you did go 7th round, and you end up being a 68 overall. But looking at him as a linebacker, I mean, he's got really good speed. For a linebacker, tackling's really solid. He's really at 87, so his hit power not that big, but I mean, hit power really doesn't matter as long as you can make the tackle. Block shedding, he's really got to work on. His moves, he's got to work on, in his play recognition. So that's what really hurts him overall wise in this draft. But still a good solid pick there in the 7th round. Picking up Brendan Roberts, 68 overall, can be in the 70s before you know it. Probably halfway through the season or before. So that's it for the Bulls. And now for the final pick of the Sentinels, they will select Artis Pleasant, defensive back out of Arizona State. And he ends up being a 69 overall in the card. I think it said 68. No, 69. So he's 69. Good solid pick here in the 7th round for the Sentinels. Okay, so the Sentinels end up getting picked up, and end up picking up their guy and finishing their draft. And it's now time for the Aviators' final pick, and they select Bradley Maresic. I think that's how you say it. Marakic. I think that's it. Yeah, Bradley Marakic. So Bradley Marakic ends up being the pick here, and he's a 66 overall. So that's pretty average for a 7 overall draft pick. So that's who they end up going with. And I feel that the Aviators had themselves a pretty solid draft. And so next are my Dreadnoughts, and with their final pick in the draft, the San Antonio Dreadnoughts select wide receiver. Is that Leffy? I think that's Leffy. Leffy Wimper. Who ends up being a 74 overall, so we get a steal here out of Toledo. 6'1", 224-pound receiver here. I like this guy. But maybe he can become a big threat in the future. On the older end, though, coming in as a rookie at 23. But, this is a guy I could see probably making an impact or doing something in the future for us. So a good, solid pick there to finish out the draft in the 7th round. Next on the list are the Celtic Tigers. And the Celtic Tigers' final draft pick, they end up picking Andreas Vaughn. So Andreas Vaughn is the selection here for the Celtic Tigers. And with the Celtic Tigers, they get this outside linebacker from Montana at a 68 overall. So a pretty okay draft pick for the 7th round. My opinion on the Celtic Tigers draft this season, I don't think they did all that great. They had pretty much an average draft. No really big key players that I think they got, but probably from the earlier draft, probably like Chris Weller and stuff like that. But they really went with a lot of generic players. So they didn't turn out to be all that great for the Celtic Tigers, but we already know Celtic Tigers got themselves a bomb squad already, so they don't really need too many key athletes at all in this draft. But that's it for the Celtic Tigers. And for the final pick of the RFL champs, the Red Dragons will select Daniel Sproles. So Daniel Sproles, defensive back out of Oklahoma, ends up being a 70 on the card, but I guess doesn't really fit the Red Dragons offense, as they got him marked here as a 79, but still a good solid pick there in the 7th round with Daniel Sproles. So 2 more picks for the AFC, and then we can move on to the NFC and finish out the draft, you guys. So now it's time for the Huskies' final pick. And with their final pick in the draft, they pick up Drake Fuller, Washington. Of course, you don't see Washington. He wanted he had a long name. It couldn't even fit on a jersey, so he said it's cool. He'll keep it at Drake Fuller. So congratulations to you. Your player has been selected, and you are now a Toronto Husky, as Drake Fuller out of Baylor gets selected here. The overall, though, not too good. It ends up being a 65 overall. We'll really kill him a little bit here. Definitely, once again, the acceleration, as he had 91 speed. The acceleration at 82, though. And with the catching, that's, pretty average for a rookie coming in. So that's still not going to get the job done. The awareness is already low at 63. But he shows he can make some catches in traffic, I guess, at times with a 77 overall. And that attribute rating at catching traffic, but he can make some spectacular grabs, as we could see with that 87. So that's pretty okay. Jumping's not that great, but got really good agility. So we're gonna have to see what the future holds for Drake Fuller, and I believe that this was probably the I'm not going to say the worst, not by any means, because this is the lowest player that they've gotten out of the draft. So Huskies, man, Coach Chiz, man, you did your thing in this draft, man. You got some really solid players. The Huskies were already a solid team a season ago, finishing 14-2, and who knows, man, see if they can make a run for the championship this season. But from how the draft is looking, the new players teams are acquiring, I really don't know what's going to happen for next season. But and for the final pick for the AFC, the Conquistadors will finish with Hunter Russo. So it's a generic player here out of Texas A&M, offensive guard, and he ends up being a 69 on the card, but a 70 for the Conquistadors. So a really good pick there. He fits the system. So that's going to do it for the draft in the AFC side of the RFL. And we will finally be able to finish out the draft with the NFC side. So let's get to that. I want to make sure I get this all done. This is why I'm glad I didn't make a video of this, because it would have just took me forever. But for guys who are watching, who saw your guy get drafted, congratulations to you. Thank you guys for still staying in here and watching to see where guys are landing. Appreciate the support. If you haven't hit that like button already, hit that like button for your boy. Definitely helps out the channel. And not only that, if you aren't part of the RFL, man, join the RFL today. Go to my website. I haven't updated the website lately. Haven't had the time. But go to relocationfootballleague.com and find out more about the league. Also, join the Discord. I don't know if my co-commissioner, Preston. Yeah, Preston is here. What's good, Preston? Just said what's up. But if you couldn't, Preston, just send a link to the Discord in the chat, so that way new guys can just click on it and go straight to the Discord and join the community. And for guys who aren't in the Discord, who's been here, man, joining the Discord, man. It's definitely a fun messaging system, and we be having fun in here, so that's great. So that ends the draft for the AFC side for the 4th through 7th round, and now it is time to go to finish out the rest of the draft with the NFC side. As you can see here, I got a whole bunch of things saved up, but here we go. NFC side is here. Now, Ronnie Cam, I know you're in here, but I had to create your player, but I'll let you know what your overall. Oh, hold up, what is this? Okay, that's the wrong thing. So I'm gonna go to the auto save though, because on one of these because that's actually where I think I do got you saved, so you can be able to see your overall. So that's cool then. So here we go. Finally, we get to finish things off with the NFC side. So looking at the 4th round, we're going to get things started off already. So the Shamrocks are going to be starting things off. This is the 3rd round that I'm in, so nobody can see the players yet. Hold up, what is going on? Wow, picked the wrong thing, so I picked the wrong franchise again. Oh my God, I hate when I do that. Where is it? Auto save. Hold up, where is it? Okay, auto save NFC right here. Okay, it kind of threw me off. I thought it would be underneath. All right, let's get this thing cracking, man. So Shamrocks on the board. We're going to look at their 4th round draft pick and the others. So the Shamrocks on the clock, and with their 4th round draft pick, they select Ross Lehman, offensive tackle out of Arkansas State. So they go with the offensive lineman here, and they needed one, but in the hold up, this is the 3rd round. Okay, 4th round, this is who they pick. They pick a fullback. Okay, so that's a little bit like a unique pick there. They go with Aaron Berg, but Aaron Berg is 79 overall fullback out the draft, so this is a good dude right here. Solid pick in the 4th. So maybe that'll help him out with, you know, blocking as far as for the quarterbacks, because they were terrible in pass protection last season. A lot of sacks their quarterback suffered, and that's why they were the 2nd worst team in the league. But okay, so there goes the Shamrocks 4th round pick. Not a submitted draft player there. Next on the clock, let's see who we got. The Monarchs. So the London Monarchs get on the board, and with their 4th round draft pick, they pick up a submitted draft player. They go with running back Stuart Savoy out of South Alabama. Congratulations, you have been selected. They just picked up Jay Morse, who ends up being a really solid running back for them at a 78 overall. And here goes another running back they end up scooping up with Stuart Savoy at a 69 overall. So he's got some developing to do, but looking at him, he's got really some good speed on him. Carrying definitely has got to improve, though. It looks like he must have had some trouble holding on to the rock in college. Ball carrier vision, though, is really solid. And as far as his ability to make people miss or break tackles, pretty average. Breaking the tackles, he can't do much. And it seems like at times he could catch you with a spin move, but that's about it. Good pick here for the Monarchs. And it's time to move on to the next pick, which are the Brooklyn Barons. So the Brooklyn Barons in the 4th round selects, I think this Tajvio Ross. And I don't think this is a submitted draft player, but in the 4th round, they come up with a 73 overall strong safety with Tajvio Ross, and pretty good solid player here. So on to the next pick, Salt Lake City Elks, as the Elks selects Alan Klein, another submitted non-submitted draft player, defensive tackle out of Arizona. Ends up being a 67 on the card, but a 68 overall for the Elks. But I guess that's not the pick they were quite looking for in the 4th round. But he'll have to develop. So the Elks are done there. Let's see, we got the Steamers. So there goes the Steamers. And I know their coach, I don't know if he's in here, but they select William Jackson III. So there goes a submitted draft player. Defensive back out of Kentucky, as William Jackson III ends up being a solid pick too at cornerback in the 4th round, coming out as a 75 overall. Really nice speed, and like his acceleration matched his speed, so he's got really good speed on him for a cornerback. His coverage got to get better though. His man coverage not that good for a corner, and neither quite is his zone, and neither is his play recognition. So he's got to definitely upgrade in those categories. But as far as agility, look at the press rating, 90 press. So he's actually probably going to be a pretty good defensive back here for the Steamers to come, man. He might be able to see the field also. Let's look at his awareness rating, though. I want to see where that's at. 62. So it's not going to take him too much time to develop and get even better. So good pick here for the Steamers as they pick up William Jackson III. Congratulations, as you have your new home now in Memphis. And so with the Steamers done with their pick, we have the Austin Desperados. So the Desperados, for their 4th round pick, selects Dalton Goldsberry, who is a submitted draft player. I don't know if he's in the chat or has been around, because this was a guy who submitted this guy early on when season 2 first started. So Dalton Goldsberry here, solid pick though in the 4th round as a defensive end. He ends up being a 74 overall, 6'2", though, a little bit on the smaller side for a defensive end, but still got some pretty good overall ratings here. 245 pounds, young, so he could definitely develop. He's got 82 strength. Tackling is really solid. Block shedding is really solid. Power moves and finesse moves, they're not too good. Those can get better. Speed, but the acceleration, really good for his speed, so he should be able to reach his top speed fairly quickly, and that play recognition has got to develop as well. So good pick right there for the Desperados, and congratulations to Dalton Goldsberry, as you are now an Austin Desperado. So who's next on the board? We have the Tigers, so the Chicago Tigers. See who they select with their 4th round pick, and it is Mitchell Hubbard, our offensive guard out of the draft, who isn't, a submitted draft player, but here he is, a 75 overall on the card, but a 76 for the Tigers. So good solid pick there in the 4th round. Next we have the Lancers, who just signed a probably the biggest contract here, biggest player I would have to say, offseason move during the RFL season, with Trey Mason III, and it looks like they're trying to build around him because they go with offensive guard, I think that's LeBreece Bankston out of Colorado, who ends up being a pretty solid pick for them, 70 overall on the card, but a 71, so they're looking, I guess, to build up that offensive line around Trey Mason III and hopefully be able to make it to the playoffs this time. And they were right there, ended up losing the final game of the season, which eliminated them from the playoffs, but they may have a shot. Okay, there goes the Lancers pick, and now next is the Marshals, who's right underneath, and they pick up James Blackman. Congratulations to James Blackman. He is a submitted draft player, and oh my God, look at this. He's the second 85 overall player, and here he is going in the 4th round, so he's top 5 best players in the draft right here, and you could see why. I mean, he's 6'3", 245. That's nothing too impressive there with the size, but I mean, look at these attributes. I mean, his tackling definitely got to go way up. That's something he's really going to have to work on, but his strength is really solid for a rookie coming in. Block shedding's good, power moves okay, but the finesse moves are there. The speed is there. Look at the acceleration, 88 acceleration, coming in as a rookie with an 80 play recognition. So he is the real deal. Teams better watch out for James Blackman off the edge. I think he's going to be able to deliver a lot of pressure, and I think he may just be a day one starter there. And the Marshals, I think they do got good defensive ends, though. And I didn't even see this. Look at the awareness, 82. So he can right away start improving and using all of his XP to make his tackling get better. So this guy can easily be a 90 overall at the end of the season or better. So this is a steal. Probably the biggest steal in the draft so far. Congratulations to James Blackman. You may not have got picked in the 1st round, the 2nd, or the 3rd, but here you are getting picked up in the 4th, and you are one of the best guys in the draft. I mean, look at the contract. They signed him off the rip to a $2.32 million deal for 4 years. So they definitely are like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. They're planning to keep him for a long time to come. So nice pick there for the Marshals, and it's time to go on to the Gunners. So the Gunners on the board, And with their 4th round pick, they pick up Kevin Martin. Now, I've seen him around on the comments, but I don't know if you're in the draft in the comments right now. But congratulations, in the 4th round, Gunners do end up getting themselves a solid pick. I can see the overall right now, 72 overall, which is really solid for a 4th round draft pick. And I do think he will be able to see the field. Look at the speed. 95 speed, very good there. His acceleration is lower than the speed, but at least it's in the 90s. So this guy, his speed is about probably like 93, 92, something like that. So he's still fast. Route running is pretty okay for a running back coming in. The catching, though, 89 catching. So he can catch the pill. As far as in traffic, he can catch it at times, I would have to guess. But, you know, that's still pretty solid coming in as a rookie. He can make some spectacular catches. His jumping's okay. His awareness is just 2 points away from the 80. So that means that he can definitely, at some point, like very quickly, work on the other attributes to boost him up, which is why it's a good idea that I'm doing the preseason for the first time during the RFL, because those 4 weeks will definitely help a player improve and probably get an opportunity to be able to compete for a spot. But you can see here, his release got to get better and things of that nature. But congratulations to Kevin Martin. You are now a St. Louis Gunner, which I think the Gunners have relocated, though, to Houston. So we're about to have to probably start saying the Houston Gunners, because they didn't have St. Louis no more on 18. So we're going to have to start saying the Houston Gunners. So I might as well start saying that now just to get used to it. But the Houston Gunners end up picking up Kevin Martin out of Kansas, and they end up getting a really nice pick. And so with the Gunners done with their 4th round draft pick, it's time to move on to the Crusaders. And with their 4th round draft pick, they pick up defensive tackle Mantra I think it's McQuarters. Yeah, so Mantra McQuarters ends up being the pick here. And looking at him, 68 overall, well, 65 on the card. And then he ends up being a 68 overall for the team. So a 3 overall point jump. So this must be a really good team match for him. And, you know, he still needs to develop, though, before he can touch the field. But we'll see what's to come for him. Let's see, next are the Diablos, so the runner-ups for the Relocation Bowl. Corey Kuechly, he just asked me if he was going to, I'm hoping he was going to get drafted. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, something like that. But the tight end out of Eastern Kentucky, Corey Kuechly, ends up getting picked here. And he ends up being a really good, solid pick. 73 overall, coming in out of the 4th round. Nice speed. The catching is solid too. He's an 81. His blocking is solid too. That's supposed to be a 70. The awareness just needs to get up. But this guy, he's going to be something. He is definitely going to be something, and he's got the potential to be able to, you know, compete and be a starter probably there in Mexico City. So congratulations to Corey Kuechly, as I believe that was you, wasn't it? Made Matteo, I think it's Solar. But yeah, congratulations, as Kuechly is now off the board, and you are now Mexico City Diablo. And now it's time to move on to the next pick, the Sacramento Condors, as they pick up another submitted draft player. That is Andrew Johnson out of Wisconsin. And in the 4th round, he ends up being a pretty good, solid pick. 71 overall. He's got some okay speed there for a linebacker. Solid tackling. Block shedding, not all that great, but looks like his hit power is ridiculous. So he's probably going to be delivering some big hits if he gets an opportunity to touch the field, which I think he will. I think he may be a backup, so that he should be able to, you know, develop with making some plays on the field. His power moves, his defensive moves needs to go up, though. They're both at 64. His play recognition needs to get better as well. But his pursuit angles, this is why he's a good tackler. He's got good pursuit. He can make the tackles, and he can hit. So this is a big-time pick here. And congratulations to Andrew Johnson. You are now a Sacramento Condor. Okay, so next is the Thunderbirds. So let's see who the T-Birds pick, who, by the way, I will have to say is having a fantastic draft again. And here they go. They pick up the offensive guard Cooper Hoffman out of Indiana. He ends up being at 71 overall, so pretty good, solid pick again here for the Thunderbirds. I'm not even going to lie. The Thunderbirds, even before they picked up Coach Kozra, had a fantastic draft, which is what made them like one of the best teams already. I mean, that team was pretty much a rookie team offensively. That's where they picked up LC3, Ronnie Nickens, Malcolm McDaniels, DeAndre Can. They had all types of star players that they picked from that draft, ball out and get them to the playoffs, and they look like they're doing the same exact thing here as they haven't had a bad pick yet. As here goes Cooper Hoffman out of Indiana, 71 overall as an offensive guard. And now with the T-Birds done, we have 2 more picks, and that is the Explorers and the Snowhawks. And the Explorers selects with their 4th overall pick, Dacey O'Donnell. So congratulations to Dacey O'Donnell, submitted draft player here out of Ohio State. He ends up being a 74 overall, so a really good pick there, to be honest, for a 4th round draft pick. Mobile quarterback, needs to get his awareness up though, and his deep accuracy, but his accuracy overall is pretty good for a rookie quarterback coming in. Throw power at 89, so solid throw power right there. His play action a little bit weak, throw on the run weak as well, but he's got some good speed, so he may not have to throw on the run. He might just take off, who knows. But congratulations to Dacey O'Donnell, as you are now a Columbus Explorer. And with the final pick of the 4th round, before we move on to the 5th, the Snowhawks get on the board and they select Daryl Martin Jr. So congratulations. I forgot who it was that submitted him, but I know he's been around a couple of times. But Daryl Martin Jr. is off the board as he gets picked up from Auburn, 6'3", 180-pound receiver. But look at the just look at this is one of those guys that I had fun playing with as well right here. I remember, but look at this, 93 speed. But look at the route running coming in as a rookie, 95 route running. So this guy, he's going to see the field. He is definitely going to see the field. I think he's already starting. He might be the starting slot for the Snowhawks next season, and that just made their receiving core just even that much better. I mean, this receiving core was destroying it last season. Big reason why they made it to the playoffs, and now here they are getting another big-time player here for their offense, Daryl Martin Jr. 95 route running. That's still mind-blowing. His acceleration is not that great, though, but I believe that balances out to a nice 90 speed overall, so he's nothing slow. He's got some okay catching in traffic that can get better, and spec catch just doesn't make those spectacular grabs, but he just makes the catch, I guess. Well, looking at the catching, that's a downfall. 75 overall catching, so his hands may not be like that. His awareness needs to get up, but once he does that, he should be a solid player and somebody to look out for in the future. But congratulations to Daryl Martin Jr. You are now a Portland Snowhawk. And so now we move on to the 5th round. Almost just 3 more rounds to go, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and we are finally done, and we can look forward to season 3 starting up. But here we go. Ray Cox. I think that's a submitted draft player, and it is. So Shamrocks pick up Ray Cox out of Georgia. I know he's going to be a little bit upset about that overall rating, but he just ended up getting a bad draw here from generic players. Ends up being a 60 overall. The speed for 1. Yeah, he killed himself there. 83 speed at receiver, so that's really not good. 80 acceleration, which made things even worse. His route running is okay there. Actually, that's pretty good for a rookie coming in. Catching the ball, he's suspect, I guess, at times. He can, I don't know, not too solid. Catching in traffic is about the same, and it's okay. Awareness definitely needs to boost up. There's a lot of development that needs to go on for Ray Cox, though. But their receiving core, to be honest, really isn't all that great. So as far as him having an opportunity, he's still going to need a lot of development. But he should be able to, make his way onto the field if he can, get enough XP and do good enough, during the preseason or whatever. But congratulations to Ray Cox, as you are now a Dublin Shamrock. Okay, so next on the board for the Shamrocks, we have the Monarchs once again. And the Monarchs selects Will Vaughn, an offensive guard out of Illinois. So not a submitted draft player. He ends up coming in at a 68 overall. So not too great of a okay pick there for a 5th rounder. So okay pick there. They got to develop that guy. So next we'll move on, and it's the Barons. We'll get on the clock, and the Brooklyn Barons, and their 5th round draft pick picks up Hudson Lehman out of West Virginia, another offensive guard being picked up here. 68 overall, 69 for the team, it's saying, so pretty good draft pick there for the 5th round. Next are the Elks. So Salt Lake City Elks with their 5th round draft pick selects Alexander Loretto. So there goes a submitted draft player right there. Alexander Loretto out of Stanford ends up being a solid 5th round draft pick. Look at him, 74 overall. The awareness is at 90 coming in as a rookie. So this guy already can develop and just get better. So this is a guy who honestly can compete and possibly be a starter at the end of the season. All depends on Riley School and what he does. So he may be a 5th round draft pick, but he has the potential to be a starter if he, does his thing there on the, developing and in the preseason. But who knows? We're just gonna have to see. But he's got 90 awareness. The mid accuracy is terrible, though. I'm not even gonna lie. Mid accuracy is not good. The deep accuracy is okay, and the short accuracy is okay as well. But you would like to have your short accuracy at least somewhere in the 90s or close. Well, of course, as a rookie, that's really actually not that bad, so can't say that. But the throw power needs to get. I mean, you can't really improve that. That takes a lot of XP. So his throw power is just going to have to probably just be that weak. So he's really not going to have the strength to fit passes in the tight spaces. So it may take him some time to develop and become a potential starter there in Salt Lake City. He's throwing the runs pretty good, though. So is his speed. And the play action, that's pretty solid coming in as a rookie as well. So congratulations to Alexander Loretto. You are now a Salt Lake City Elk. And so the Elks are done, and we move on to the Steamers. So the Memphis Steamers end up going with an offensive guard here, David Cantaloupe. I think it's Cantaloupe, yeah, out of Maine. And look at this, 79 overall, quick development. 79 on the card. He's a 78, though, for the Steamers. But still, this is a solid pick in the 5th round. Look at the strength, 91. He's got okay run. He's got some solid blocking for a rookie. And then the impact blocking is amazing, 89. Awareness needs to get better. And I believe this guy can be a starting offensive lineman real quick for the Steamers. But we'll have to see. So the Steamers are done, and we move on to Desperados. So the Desperados are on the clock, and with the 5th round draft pick, the Desperados selects defensive end Lewis Griffith, from Syracuse. Ends up being a 72 overall on the card, but a 70, so not a good match as a player in the system for the Desperados. But Lewis Griffith has got some potential to be a good player. As you can see, the strength, 89 strength, 88 tackling, 80 block shedding. His defensive moves isn't that great, though, but his speed as a defensive end is really solid. Play recognition needs to get better, and I think this guy can make an impact on the Desperados at some point. So really good, solid pick right here. So Desperados are done, and it is now the Tigers, Chicago Tigers, who are on the board. And the Tigers selects Howard McGarity out of Montana State. Not a submitted draft player. He's 66 overall, so basic 5th round draft pick there for the Tigers. Next we have the Lancers, and with the Lancers, they pick Chadrick Lucas out of Texas. They go with the offensive tackle here. 72 overall, so really good, solid pick there in the 5th round for the Lancers. Like I said, look at this. They went the offensive lineman in the last round, and here they are going to offensive lineman again. So they might just be able to just build guys up to be able to, be able to take over. No, actually, I said take over, to be able to help out Trey Mason III. So, I mean, that should be they're doing the right thing here with these picks. But let's see what else we got going on. As next is their Marshals, and they select Brandon Jones. So congratulations, Brandon Jones. I knew you were in the comments earlier, I think, but I know you were in the Discord, and congratulations. You have been selected by the San Antonio Marshals. And here's a look. 74 overall on the card. A 73, though, for the Marshals, but still good overall rating there for the 5th round tight end draft pick. And with the 5th round tight end draft pick, you have 90 catching, so the catching is remarkable. So really good catching. Speed at 85, so that's really good for a tight end. The acceleration at 80 is pretty okay. Run blocking is pretty good for a tight end as well. Awareness just needs to build up, so you can definitely make your way into being a premier tight end at some point. So, you know, look at the spectacular catching, though. 88 catching traffic, 80. This guy's got some hands on him at tight end. This is a guy that people are just going to have to watch out for. The route running may be poop at 60, but I'll tell you what, he can still make those catches even if you're on him. So that's a really good, solid pick right here for the Marshals as they pick up Brandon Jones. Congratulations to you. Okay, so now the next pick are the Gunners, and the Gunners selects Jaquil Allen, and I know my man's Jarrell, the head coach of the Gunners, has got to be here and look at what you picked up. You said he was going to be a steal, and that is exactly what he ended up being. I mean, your team's pretty much stacked with quarterbacks right now, man. I mean, you got Jaquil Allen. This is a submitted draft player right here, too, so congratulations to whoever submitted and submitted Jaquil Allen. 80 overall quarterback. The awareness, man, is just poop. But just think about this. Once he gets that awareness up to 80, what overall do you think he's going to be? He's probably going to be like an 85 at that point. So at 85, probably higher than that. And then look at the deep accuracy, 93. He just has the mid accuracy, 80. That's solid for a rookie coming in. Short accuracy, 84. This guy's the real deal. 96 throw power. He's got nice throw on a run. Play action needs to get better, but look, he's got the speed to even take off out of the pocket. This guy looks like he can do just about anything. So this is somebody you got to watch out for if Jabri Jackson gets hurt. I've heard some things about Coach James saying that he might try to get rid of Jackson, which I feel they probably shouldn't. Jabri Jackson was a key reason on why they had success last season. But, I mean, even if they were to get rid of him, this looks like the definite guy to build around. So, Jaquil Allen, big steal for the Gunners. And congratulations to the creator, as you are now a Houston Gunner. So let's see what's next. You got the Crusaders. So the Crusaders are next. And the Crusaders pick up a center, Richie McCann. 69 overall center. So for the 5th round, that's not too bad. So after the Crusaders, we got the Diablos. So the Diablos pick up, I think that's Shaker. I'm not sure. Shaker Pinkney. So Shaker, I'm not sure how to say that phrase name. Shakir, I think it might be Shakir. Let me stop trying. But anyway, defensive tackle out of Mississippi they pick up, and he ends up being a pretty good pick here for a 5th rounder. 72 overall out of Mississippi State, as I said. And, you know, he could very well be able to see some playing time because I don't think their interior linemen are that good. But good pick right there for the Diablos. And next are the Sacramento Condors, who selects Josh Lehman. So Josh Lehman, congratulations to you being selected to the Condors as they select a quarterback here. Of course, he's probably not going to like that rating, but a big reason on why your rating is that low is definitely because of the awareness being at 60. So the awareness really at quarterback killed you there. And as far as accuracy, that's really got to improve, but you can't improve on anything until you get that awareness up to an 80. So that's going to take some time. So it's going to take a lot of development for Josh Lehman here, but he looks like he could be a potential quarterback. Look at the speed though, man, 90 speed. So this guy could take off. Throw power is not that great. He looks like more like how he's described here as a mobile quarterback. He's got the acceleration good, agility is good, everything's good, but the mechanics as far as being able to complete passes and the awareness is a big key point where he's got to work on. But congratulations to Josh Lehman. You are now a Sacramento Condor, and let's see if you can work your way up to try to knock out Chase McCoy, which, you know, he's a 90 overall quarterback, so who knows, man. You might have to be content with being a backup. But congratulations to you on being drafted. So next we have the Thunderbirds, and the Toronto Thunderbirds with their 5th round draft pick selects TJ Reynolds Jr. So TJ Reynolds Jr., submitted draft player here out of Florida. Congratulations. You are now a T-Bird. As you can see here, very fast receiver. As you can see his description, speed receiver, and you see why. 96 speed, 92 acceleration. The route running is got to be worked on and developed. So does the hand. So the catching has got to get worked on as well. But the catching in traffic, he actually can make, it looks like he can catch better in traffic than he can on the regular. So good catch, the good pickup right there with TJ Reynolds Jr. And TJ Reynolds Jr. Has got to work on just a few things, and he's only 2 attribute points away from a 70-something overall. And I'm not going to lie, that the Thunderbirds receivers range in the 70s. I think they only got 180 overall receiver, so he can compete and be able to see the field. He just got to make sure that he stands out in the preseason. But congratulations to TJ Reynolds. You are now a Toronto Thunderbird. So the Thunderbirds are done with their 5th round pick, and now with the final 2 picks of the 5th round, we got the Explorers, and the Explorers selects Gilbert Wheaton out of Virginia. Generic player here, 72 overall though in the 5th round at defensive back. So very good, solid pick here. Look at the zone coverage. I like this guy. He might be able to make some things happen during the season, to be honest. So good, solid pick there for the Explorers. And now for the final pick of the 5th round, we got the Snowhawks, and they select Mitchell O'Brien. So a submitted draft player right here. Congratulations, as you've been taken in the 5th round by the Portland Snowhawks, given a 4-year deal too. And you can see why. Look at this, 77 overall running back out of the 5th round. So Mitchell O'Brien, the real deal. And look at that, 93 speed, so he is fast, and 89 acceleration. So pretty much he's a fast back, man. Really fast back. 6 foot, 210 pounds. So he's got the size. He's got everything. He's very young at 20. Oh man, this guy's got ample time to develop. Who knows? Maybe he could be a future starter there in Portland. Carrying is solid. It's an 87 instead of an 86 as it has with the negatives. Very solid ball carrier vision as a rookie. It doesn't seem like he gets the job done breaking through tackles, but the jukes and spins is pretty solid, and he should be able to make some guys miss. So solid pick here for the Snowhawks, as Mitchell O'Brien has now been drafted. So that ends the 5th round, and now we have 2 more rounds left, you guys. It's been a long draft video, but let's get through this, and I can't wait for guys to see their guys get drafted who aren't here when this becomes a video. But here we go, round 6, as it is Leron Jefferson, who is going to be picked by the Shamrocks. Not a submitted draft player here, but middle linebacker out of Florida A&M, 66 overall, so basic pick there for a 6th rounder. Next, we have the Monarchs on the board, and the Monarchs selects Dre Johnson Jr. So another junior getting scooped up here. This is a strong safety though out of Miami, and he's a pretty good strong safety at 71, but he's a 70 for the Monarchs, so I guess he doesn't really quite fit their system. But pretty good, solid 6th round pick here for the Monarchs. Moving on to the Barons for their 6th round pick, they select LaCraig Harvey, defensive end out of UCLA, 66 overall. Eesh, not too great. Pretty average pick there for a 6th rounder. Next for the Barons, next after the Barons are the Elks, and the Elks selects DJ Sander out of New Mexico State, 65 overall defensive end. 66 on the card, but 65 for the Elks. So busted pick there for the Elks. Well, not busted, of course. This is later in the round, 6th round. So got to stop saying that. I keep forgetting what round I'm in. So a lot of development needs to go on for this guy. Next are the Steamers, and the Memphis Steamers selects Colton Waxworth. So a submitted draft player right here out of Tulane. Colton Waxworth, 71 overall as a 6th round draft pick, so really solid. He's got a 96 speed as an outside linebacker. So this is a guy I don't know if anybody's going to be able to outrun him to the outside, and that's exactly why they have him at outside linebackers. Tackling's definitely got to improve. Just imagine with that speed, if he had better tackling, this guy would be a force. Block shedding has got to improve as well. Hit power is pretty average. Finesse moves pretty okay, but everything else definitely needs improvement, like play recognition, his pursuit, especially with the speed he's got in the position that he's playing. So he definitely needs some help with things, and his awareness, 55. So I mean, despite the things he does have to work on, at 71 overall. So this guy should be able to see the field at some point, if he works on those little things. So great pick for the Steamers, and congratulations to Colton Waxworth on being a Memphis Steamer. So moving on, the Steamers go to the Desperados, and the Desperados selects Blake Farquhar. I think that's how you say it. But look at this. Fullback ends up being an 82 overall on the card. He's an 80, though, for the Desperados. But, solid fullback pick here. That's 3 fullbacks drafted in the draft. Who knows? Maybe guys need to start submitting fullbacks, because they all look like they come out at good overall ratings, too. But Blake Farquhar, I'm going to stop saying his name. Just call him Blake. But Blake, congratulations. I'm saying congratulations like he's submitted draft player, but he's not. So, matter of fact, we're just going to move on. So, let's see what we got here. Tigers. So, now the Tigers are now on the board. In their 6th round draft pick, they select Donovan Sprate, wide receiver out of Indiana. Ended up being a 68 overall, not a submitted draft player. So, a pretty good, solid 6th round draft pick right there for the Tigers. Moving on, we got the Lancers. And the Lancers selects outside linebacker Alexander Sabisky, I think it is. Sabisky, he's one of those. But good solid pick here in the 6th round. 70 overall outside linebacker here with Sabisky. And so, nice pick there out of FIU. And next we have the Marshals, who selects Tate Phillips. So congratulations to Tate Phillips on being selected by the Marshals, drafted out of Alabama. Great tight end here, as you can see from the ratings. 91 catching coming in as a rookie, 87 speed. So this guy's got the speed, accelerations a little bit low, but still, that's really good for a tight end. Awareness needs to improve, and the route running and the blocking is pretty solid for a tight end, man. So he's a really good, solid tight end here for the Marshals. They pick up 2 back-to-back big tight ends. So great selection there for the Marshals. So let's move on. And after the Marshals, we have the Gunners. Though he is a 5'10", 215 to be, but he's a nice one-cut back. Look at the vision. Comes in with a 90 ball carrier vision. So this guy offering. Let me make sure I got it. Okay, says I gotta make sure I got my stuff on here. Yeah, cause I see that it is buffering. Okay, I see it's working now. So I gotta try here get this out the way. So Yeah, so there goes Daniel Aniatunde. Good back, ball carrier vision at 90, stiff arm at 90, the juke move 95. This guy, he's the real deal, like I was saying. So really good steal here in the 6th round by the Gunners, and I could see him touching the field and getting some playing time this season. So after the Gunners, we have the Crusaders, and the Crusaders selects BJ Hussack, I think that's how you say it, but ends up being a 66 overall, but dropping to a 63 for the Crusaders. So might have been a bad pick right there for them. Out at outside linebacker, a lot of development for him to be able to just even touch the field. And so now moving on to the Diablos, as the Diablos select Craig Black out of East Carolina. 72 overall, so this is a good steal here for the Diablo. So building around Chumlee, so they got some good linemen there for him. Hopefully that'll also open things up for the running game. Let's not forget about Miles Kerrigan. So definitely looking like they are focused on moving towards that direction, towards building their offensive linemen. But so the Diablos are done with their pick, and now we move on to the Condors. And with the Condors, they pick up J.J. Vaughn. So congratulations to J.J. Vaughn, as your player has been drafted here in the 6th round, and you end up being a absolute steal, as you are a 77 overall coming in from the 6th round of the draft. Amazing. I mean, look at this. 77 overall, 96 speed, the acceleration at 90, the route running at 89 coming as a rookie, good hands at 83 as a rookie coming in. Catching in traffic's probably not all that great at 77, but he can, it's pretty average. The awareness is also pretty good, man. Just 5 points away before you can develop everything else. So 75 awareness, and I mean, this was a big time steal. But look at this, man. He definitely needs to gain some weight. 6'6", 160 pounds. Yeesh. I mean, I know he come out of Bowie State, but man, he definitely needs some weight added to him. Congratulations to J.J. Vaughn on being a Condor, and hope that they'll be able to utilize you. I think you can definitely see some playing time in the RF for the Condors for sure. And so with the Condors, we have 3 more picks. The Thunderbirds are up next. And with the Thunderbirds, they select defensive tackle. Now this guy actually ends up being there was somebody he was supposed to be. Let me see who this is, because this is when I messed up the draft pick, but I changed him into it. He's on the correct franchise thing. Let me see who it is. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be Clifton General. So Clifton General, my bad that I mess up on you. Like when I show the rosters and everything, I will show your guy so you can see him. But this is actually Clifton General. So congrats. It says still buffering. I mean, okay. Yeah, it is buffering a little bit, but I gotta make sure I try to get this all going in one vid. If guys have problems on where they got drafted, see me on Discord. I'll be sure to answer. But done. We move on to the Explorers, and the Explorers selects Rylan Roper, offensive tackle out of Duke, 68 overall in the 6th round. So average pick there for the 6th round. And then to finish off the 6th round, the Snowhawks selects Darren McSpradden. So there you go, James Erickson. You end up getting one of your draft players picked here. Darren McSpradden, the mix between Darren McFadden and Darren Sproles, gets picked here out of Maryland to join the Snowhawks. So Snowhawks are selected here. Selected. Pretty good pick here. 72 overall, 95 speed. He's got 92 acceleration too. So there you go. Nice pick. Nice speed on him. Carrying, he definitely needs to work on that. 75 rating in that. Ball carrier vision is really nice though at 85. And as far as his truckling and juke moves, it doesn't seem like he has a looseness. He's just a guy who gets the ball and runs like the last draft pick running back that was like that. But congratulations, Erickson, as your boy Darren McSpadden is now a Portland Snowhawk. And so now to the 7th and final round, you guys. Oh my God. So in the 7th round of the RFL draft, we got the Shamrocks, who pick up George Levine, middle linebacker, 65 overall, not a submitted draft player, 67 on the card, but 65 overall for the Shamrocks. So busted pick there, really going to take a lot of development. So Shamrocks get the pick there. See what else we got here. Who's next? Monarchs. So the Monarchs' final pick in the draft is Zachary Hope, offensive tackle out of Alabama. Ends up being a steal for the 7th round, 73 overall. And that's a good, solid pick. Now moving on, we got the Brooklyn Barons. So the Barons selects another generic player here, Adrian Stark, defensive cornerback out of Florida. Ends up being a 68 overall, so pretty good pick there for a 7th rounder. Next we have the Elks. Salt Lake City Elks selects Frank Silvestro. So good steal here in the 7th round. He ended up getting a 72 overall offensive lineman. So good pick right there in the 7th round for the Elks. Now moving on to the Memphis Steamers, as the Memphis Steamers selects Jake Pride for their final pick. And congratulations, this is a submitted draft player. Jake Pride picked in the 7th and final round here. Ends up being a 70 on the card, but a 69 overall for the Steamers. So just doesn't fit the offense, I guess. And so Jake Pride, man, looking at him, really nice speed, but he killed himself here. Could have been a higher overall had he not had his acceleration been at 72. So that was something from the application he put. So he killed himself there. Could have been a higher overall draft pick. But he's got to work on that. And building acceleration, you just probably ain't going to be able to do it because that takes a lot of XP. But route running, 91. So he can run some routes. He can catch the ball. Really good catching right there. Catching traffic's average and stuff like that. Awareness, got to work on that. So he could still be a solid receiver there for the Steamers. So congratulations to Jake Pride. You are now a Memphis Steamers. Let me see who's next. The Desperados. Okay, so the Desperados are now on the clock, and with their final pick, they select Vernell Livingston out of Oklahoma, the offensive guard. Ends up getting a steal here, 71 overall in the 7th round. Next, we move on to Tigers. So the Tigers' final picks ends up being Kelsey Cons, strong safety, out of UL Monroe. Still here, 72 overall safety in the 7th round. So Tigers, we go with the Lancers now. So the Lancers, with their final pick, selects Lynn Wilkerson, defensive end out of Florida. And 64 overall, so not a good pick there. No gem there in the 7th round. And Marshalls, San Antonio Marshalls selects defensive back Miko Doggins out of Boston College, 66 overall, so nothing special there. Gets a 1 point overall boost for being with the Marshalls. Next we have the Gunners, and I think somebody's gonna like this one, because there he goes, finally off the board is Ronnie Cam out of USC. And not only is he a 7th round draft pick, he is a steal. Look at this, 78 overall coming in as a rookie. The speed is at 81. The catching, very solid for a tight end. The blocking, really solid. Awareness is something that's definitely got to get worked on. So he's got to work on that. But other than that, I mean, he doesn't try any spectacular catches. He just focuses on catching the ball. His catching is traffic, solid at an 81. Accelerations, not too great. But route running, really good for a tight end. So this guy actually, I believe, have the potential to even be the starter for the Gunners. So, I mean, yeah, I know Ronnie is a long wait, but your boy is finally off the board. And congratulations to Ronnie Cam, man. Don't know how you fell all the way to the 7th round, though. I really don't know how that happened. But at the end of the day, you're a 78 overall. And no, I did not nerf anything to make you better, to make up for it, because whatever got picked and whatever happens, that's what happens. You know, that's how I roll. So I don't help anybody else. I don't help anybody out to get, you know, be able to play. Your guy just came out with a gem here. So congratulations to Ronnie Cam. You are now a Houston Gunner. So with that, the Gunners make their final pick, and they go with Ronnie Cam, who ends up being a steal for them. The next pick are the Crusaders, and the Crusaders selects Eckford Lacina, I think that's how you say it. Ends up being a little bit of a okay pick there for the 7th round, 69 overall. Okay. And next we have the Diablos, and the Diablos select Nacho Cheese. Another tight end, man. You've been waiting. And look at this. Another tight end who ends up being pretty much a steal. 76 overall. I don't think you'll be the starter, but I'm pretty sure you're the backup. I think their best tight end is a 78 overall. But Nacho Cheese is up off the board. And so here he is coming out of Alabama, man. 6'6", 231. Look at the speed at this tight end. Acceleration, man. Just a vertical threat tight end. 94 speed with 92 acceleration. Catching is solid for a tight end. He can block. His awareness definitely needs to get better, but I think once he gets his awareness and things better, even his route running, this guy is going to be a starter there in Mexico City. So watch out for Mr. Nacho Cheese. Congratulations to you, my guy. So the Diablos make a big pick and a nice steal there with their final pick. And the Condors are on the board, and they select Diamond Witted. So Diamond Witted ends up getting selected here. Oh, that's not a submitted draft player. I don't know why I thought it was for a second, but it's not. But he ends up being a steal for the Condors. And let me come back real quick, you guys, because my phone just died. Didn't even check that it was, running out of battery. But I'm going to go ahead and put my laptop so I can be able to see you guys' comments. Hold up real fast. But this is a nice pick, though, here for the Condors. Nice steal. Okay, so I got it all set up. I gotta turn my head and move my mic now. So there we go. So got the setup here. So Diamond Witted ends up being a good pick here. And now it's time to move on to the next draft pick. We're almost done, you guys. Almost done. We got 3 more picks. 3 more picks. So have faith. If you haven't been picked, I'm going to say ahead of time, man, there was 25, I believe, people who weren't drafted that submitted draft players. Unfortunately, that's just how rock teams just didn't need players in that position, and it just turned out how it did. So, unfortunately, you guys, don't lose faith all the way yet. You still are going to be able to be free agents, so maybe a team may pick you up. So, congratulations on that. No, I can't say congratulations because you don't know what's going to happen. But look forward to that, But now it's time for the final 3 picks. The Toronto Thunderbirds are on the board, and with their final pick, the Thunderbirds selects Ross Clements, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame, ends up being a pretty good pick there in the 7th round. 69 overall, though, for on the card, but a 70 on the team. So another good, solid draft here for the Thunderbirds. And, man, just look out for them to have a good, stellar season again, as they should with the nice picks that they've made in the second year in a row. So Thunderbirds, now it is time for the last 2 picks in the draft. The Columbus Explorers, with their final pick, selects Jordan Nova, center out of Wyoming, generic draft pick here, 70 overall, so a good pick in the 7th round. And with the final pick, Mr. Irrelevant of the RFL draft, for guys to look out for here, the Snowhawks selects punter Warren Sewell. No, I think it's Sewell. I don't know how to say the last name. I think it's Sewell. One of those. But that is it for the RFL draft. If you didn't get drafted, I mean, you guys, look forward to free agency. Join the Discord. The Discord is what's going to be able to get you drafted. Okay? The Discord is what will get you drafted. So make sure that you join that, be able to talk to coaches and things of that nature. For guys who haven't got drafted, like I said, man, not everybody could get drafted. Guys just didn't need the position that your guy was in. For one, if you submitted a quarterback, I told you ahead of time, as far as you getting drafted, that was very slim. You had 40-plus quarterbacks. I told guys ever since we had like 20-something quarterbacks not to submit a quarterback, and still guys were submitting quarterbacks. So if you wonder why you didn't get drafted and you submitted a quarterback, that is why. Most of the quarterbacks didn't get drafted. I think only half the quarterback got drafted. So, yeah, that's actually what went down. So I could see one of the guys were a quarterback because they just switched one of their likes to a dislike. And I could kind of tell who that probably was. But, that's how it is, man. I mean, I'm not going to change up my rules for anybody. I'm not going to make sure that everybody gets picked up. It is what it is. This is a simulation league, so how it runs in real life is how it's going to run here. The team didn't pick you up. They just simply didn't pick you up. Simple as that. So look forward to free agency. But finally was able to finish this draft, man. It took forever. This would have took years to do for to make another video off with 4 rounds. So I'm glad I did the live stream, and I'm thinking about for the future in the draft doing this from now on. So yeah, congratulations, you guys, to you guys who got drafted. Like I said, if you haven't, make sure that you guys join the Discord, talk to coaches, try to get drafted, be a free agent. That will definitely boost up your chances of getting picked. You said you are exhausted, aren't you? Heck yeah, I'm exhausted, man. This video is probably, how long has this been? Probably like 2 hours or something. Probably the longest stream I've had. I don't know how guys can do all day live stream. But that is it for the draft, you guys. And as far as what's going to be coming up for the season, season 3, I'm going to announce it now, will be kicking off March 17th. So 2 weeks exactly from today. So, and within that time, I will be creating the rest of the teams and transferring them over from Madden 17. Once I do that, then we'll be set to rock on the 17th for the first game of the RFL of the preseason. So get ready, you guys. It's about to be real. And probably in between then, I'll do a live stream of a podcast as well. Like I said, showing you guys where you guys are on the depth chart and things of that nature. But it's your boy Smitty, RFL commissioner and play-by-play commentator, and I appreciate you guys stopping through, finishing out the draft, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.